Good afternoon, folks. This is Ms. Chandler Noyes, the chairman of the local Triad organization here in Georgetown. And we have an excellent speaker this afternoon on positive attitudes. And I would like to present Colonel Mo Pratt from the Sheriff's Department, who will educate all of you on the benefits of being positive. Would you have a word to say?
I think you said it well, that being positive helps us to maintain healthy self-esteem, a healthy sense of self, and good, better relationships with each other, so that we can be kind to ourselves and kind to others, and which actually then breaks down to even being safe. That if we're kind to ourselves and to others, we are going to stay safe and remain healthy. So the Georgetown Triad, which includes the Housing Authority, the Georgetown Council on Aging, the Georgetown Police Department, the Essex County Sheriff's Department, and the Essex County District Attorney's Office comprises the Triad Group. And our mission is to work with others to raise awareness regarding safety and to help people remain safe and socially connected.
Great.
So, and following our lovely program, we will have some ice cream, because that helps us all remain positive too.
Mo, you
So
ready?
we're going to turn right to you, Mo.
Oh, thank you.
And Mo has actually brought copies of his PowerPoint, so
I have, yes. I'll get those.
I will keep some copies in the office, and that way if anybody at home sees the program and would like further information, we'll have copies of the Council on Aging office to share, where we are always positive.
Thank you very much. Well, welcome everybody. As Chandler said, I'm Maurice Brass from the Essex County Sheriff's Department. I'm actually an assistant superintendent over there, and I'm the director of communications. But your representative, John Russell, has asked me to come here today, and John used to be my boss, so he still outranks me, and I do whatever he tells me to do. So I'm glad to be here. I am going to refer to my notes today because I have a lot of points. I don't want to skip around. I don't want to skip any important points, so I'm going to refer to my notes. And again, welcome. So we're going to kind of jump right in and talk about staying positive in your senior years. And what we'll do is we'll go over a couple of things. We're going to talk about taking care of yourself. We're going to talk about the physical and emotional connection. Are your emotions connected to your physical well-being and vice versa? Absolutely is the answer. We're going to talk about staying positive. We're going to talk about energy takers and energy givers. And then we'll kind of conclude it and send you on your way. It's just about 1:15 now. I know we want to have you out of here by 6. So we're going to move right along. Little human. Okay. So why are we here? Well, hopefully we're here to learn from each other, to learn some good, useful ideas. Instead of kind of the pie in the sky and the philosophical being, hopefully we'll learn from each other, and we'll learn some techniques that you can actually use today as you go forward. And what will we learn? Well, we're going to learn how to take care of ourselves, how to remain positive each and every day. So a little bit of background about myself. As I said, I work for the Essex County Sheriff's Department. I've been there about 7 years. My background is in business and executive coaching. My education, I have an undergrad from Northeastern, an MBA from Suffolk University, and a master's in psychology from Harvard University. So I try to look at things kind of 2 different ways, the business aspect, but also the feel-good aspect from the psychological view. So the first thing that we want to talk about is taking care of yourself. Well, why do you take care of yourself? Let's ask this question. Anybody here fly on a plane? Anybody ever fly on a plane? No. Yeah, so just about everybody has, right? So when you're on a plane, one of the things that the flight attendant says to you is, in the unlikely event that the mask should fall down, what should you do with the mask?
Put it on yourself first, and then your children.
Beautiful, well put. You put it on yourself first, then you can help other people. So let's think about that. Help yourself first. It's okay to help yourself first. We all grew up, especially our generations, we all grew up with the idea of help others. Help other people first. Put other people first. Don't be selfish. Absolutely, that is true. Don't be selfish. However, it's okay to say, you know what, I'm going to take care of myself today. I'm going to not eat junk food right now. I'm going to take a little walk. I'm going to read that book I want to read. Whatever it is, it's okay to help yourself. Because then you're a better husband, wife, father, son, mother, father, whatever it is, to begin with. Then you're better off, you're in a better position to help other people. Okay, so it's okay to put yourself first once in a while. As long as you don't become too narcissistic and self-centered and all that. But that goes without saying, right? Okay. So let's talk about caring for yourself. Well, there aren't any little tricks. It really comes down to technique and very specific techniques that you can use. And the first is focus on things you like to do. Focus on your passion. You've earned it. As a senior citizen, you've earned the right to be able to take a step back, focus on things that you love. So somebody name something that you love, anything in the world.
Oh, music.
Music. Okay, music. So if you focus on music, you're probably going to enjoy it. You're probably going to feel good after you do it. You're going to have a more positive attitude, and you're going to be happy. You're going to be a better person. You're going to be better off to help other people, so on and so forth. So great, focus on music. Now, how about something somebody doesn't like?
Taxes.
Taxes, okay, taxes. So you might not want to get a part-time job where you fill out tax forms for 2 or 4 hours a day. Maybe you want to stay away from taxes. Nah, people like me, I'm a stats guy. I do all the numbers at work. I'm a happy guy. You give me a pile of taxes, I'd be happy, right? So I focus on taxes. Sure. I come out of that office after 8 hours of doing taxes, I have a spring in my step. Sure. Kind of geeky, but I might want to do the taxes. Music, take it or leave it. Okay, so maybe that's not for me. But that's my long way of saying focus on your passions. You're going to be a better person for it. You're going to have more energy for it. Next item is spend time with people who encourage you or allow you to be at your best. Now, I got lucky. I married a woman who every day tells me how wonderful I am, encourages me to go out and be my best. Sometimes she just encourages me to go out, but that's okay. My point is, find people that compliment you, literally compliment you, say nice things to you. And we're going to get into energy givers and energy takers later on, but it's okay to say to somebody, you know what, I got to get to work, so I don't have time to listen to that story again about how the boss is a jerk, or to listen again about how the people at the store mistreated you and how the government is against you and all that. So I'm just going to go back to work. It's okay to say, I don't have time. Off you go. Okay. So the next item is humility. Oh, practice humility. Now, people kind of downplay that. They say, well, I'm humble. Okay. Just the fact that you had to tell me you're humble, maybe there's a problem there. But humility is a wonderful, wonderful trait. And I submit that most people are, in their core, humble human beings. But I would remind them that we don't want to spend too much time touting ourselves. Just do the right thing, and as Shakespeare says, right, the truth will out. The truth always comes out. If you're a nice person and you're doing good stuff, people are going to see it. And I'd like to share a little story about humility. This is a story about a friend of mine, Paul McGovern. And I'm a runner. I'm a runner. And probably 25 years ago, I did my first little road race over in Peabody, Massachusetts, at St. John's Elementary School. And I got there, and it was in the gym. The registration was in the gym. And they had this fellow over in the corner, tucked away, and he was giving massages. And I said, well, massage? I've never had a massage before. I'd like to try that. So this guy's giving the massages before the race. So the race goes off and finishes, and everybody's back in the gym after the race. And the same guy is giving the massages. And I said, I'm going to go get one of those. So I hop up on the table, and the guy starts giving me a massage. He's doing a really good job, and he's talking to me. Now, up on the stage, they're giving the awards. And they have, first place female, first place male, 18 to 25, first place this and that. And then they come to the overall winner. And they say, first place overall with a time of, I forget what his time was, but I remember he ran under 5-minute miles for the 5-mile course. And he set a new course record. And they said, winner, Paul McGovern. And the fellow giving me the massage said to me, will you excuse me for a minute? I said, sure. So he goes up on stage, and he gets his trophy, and he comes back, and he puts the trophy on the floor, and he continues giving me my massage. I said, this guy's good. And I got to be good friends with Paul, and I realized that he's a very, very humble individual. And I learned a lot from him. Just from that one instant, I said, wow, humility's cool. Okay. So it was very, very good. The next way to increase your positive energy, and that's where we're going here, is caring for yourself, positive energy and all that, is practice being positive in winning. And we're taught when we're kids to shoot for the stars, shoot for the moon. It's wonderful, shoot for the moon. But sometimes, it's okay to shoot lower. It's okay to set yourself up to succeed. It's okay to practice winning. It's okay to have very, very attainable goals. And I'll share another story with you. I have a lot of stories. My wife will tell you I have a story for everything. But this is another story about a fellow that set himself up to succeed and practiced winning. I don't know if anybody's ever been to Treadwell's Ice Cream in Peabody.
Yes.
Well, years ago, probably about 12 years ago, my friend Tom Gould worked at GE in Lynn. And he had a nice job over there, and he had been there a long time. But Treadwell's came up for sale. And Tom said to me, Mo, I'm going to buy Treadwell's. I said, all right, Tom, okay. So he bought Treadwell's. And at the time, Treadwell's wasn't doing that well. And their schedule that they were open wasn't too consistent. And they were closed during the winter. And Tom wanted to turn that around. So Tom said to me, he said, I'm going to stay open year-round. And we're going to be open 7 days a week, 10 to 10. I said, okay, that's good. I said, well, what are you going to sell in the winter? He said, well, we're going to sell ice cream. Because people eat ice cream year-round. I said, okay, sounds good to me. He said, but we're going to sell coffee. So Tom opened in the middle of the winter. And I remember I went there a couple of days after he opened. I said, Tom, how'd you do today? He said, Maury, calls me Maury. Maury, I succeeded. Today was a win. I said, why is that? He said, I sold a cup of coffee and I sold a frat. And that was a win. He said, if one person comes through the door, it's a win. So he set himself up to succeed. And then the next day, he said, maybe 2 people will come through. And then the next day, he said, maybe a few. And maybe I'll sell ice cream. Well, here it is 12 years later, and Tom is wildly successful. He's the president of the city council over there in Peabody. He has a great business, not only with his ice cream at the store, but also doing parties outside of the store, a whole cottage industry as far as his ice cream cakes go, and Tom has nailed it. Why? Because he set himself up to succeed from day one. He didn't think too big, he kept it very small. In economics terms, we call that economy of, not scale, but economy of scope. He kept it simple, So, that's the other item, is to set yourself up to succeed and practice winning. The next item is, I'd like to introduce kind of a physics lesson for those of you who were talking about the Big Bang Theory earlier. Well, this is Newton's third law. And Newton's third law says that for every action, there is what? An equal and opposite reaction. Absolutely. Why do we think of that? Because I say to you, if you do something positive is probably going to happen. Really, really, there's a high probability that something's going to happen. Now, I'll tie to that Newton's first law that says something in motion tends to, for you folks at home, stay in motion. Something at rest tends to stay at rest. So why do I say that? Well, I'll sum it up this way. If you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got, right? So my thought here is move. Get those bodies moving, doing something you want to do. People say to me all the time, I'm going to be a millionaire. Really? You have a savings plan? No. You have a part-time job? No, I work 30 hours a week. I don't have time for a part-time job. You know what? Get a part-time job. I'm going to become a captain over where I work. Captain, did you take the sergeant's exam? No, not yet, but I'm going to. My point is, Get the bodies moving toward the goal that you want. Newton said it best. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And I will say to you, well, when do I stop? Well, I would say April 18th at 1:26 is a perfect time to stop. That's right now. My last item in this area is focus. A general focus, and that is, it takes work. It takes work to do this. It's not a take it easy proposition. And it takes drive, and it takes almost every ounce of energy you have working toward that goal. Okay. The next item is physical and emotional well-being. Are they tied together? Do you think that they're tied together? Absolutely. Absolutely. We take care of the body, our mind will follow. We take care of the mind, our body's going to react pretty darn well and be ready to do what you want it to do. So let's take a look at each, and let's see how they're connected real quickly. Well, the first is on the, in kind of an overview here, is that emotional is attached to the physical, okay? If you're not emotionally fit, then you can have all kinds of problems. You can have an upset stomach. You can be lethargic. You could be anxious. You could have a headache. It could affect your blood pressure. It could affect your physical performance in several different areas. So that's kind of an overview, but your emotional well-being is so tied to your physical being. So what do we want to do? Well, we want to make sure that we eat right. We want to make sure that we get rest. We want to make sure that we engage in physical activity. Okay. Now, the physical being affects our emotional state. Absolutely. I'm going to refer to my notes a little bit here. But exercise improves our mood. It releases those endorphins. And I always say that you leave what you want to leave and you take what you want to take. And people say, well, I don't know what that means, Mo, but okay. Well, here's what it is. I'm a runner. So, a lot of times I go out for a run and I might have something on my mind. Let's say I have a disagreement with somebody at work. Let's say his name's John Russell. I'll just throw that out. Right? Okay. Well, I start putting my sneakers on, I'm changing my gear, and I say to myself, you know what? Tomorrow, I'm going to square that John Russell away. This is the last time he brings me all the way out to Georgetown to speak. I'm going to square him away tomorrow. Call him up and fix it. Okay, great. So I get into my running gear, right? I get out the door. I'm glad John Russell's not near the locker room as I leave, because I'm going off a run. So I start running. And I say, yeah, John, well, maybe I just need to talk to him. Maybe I just need to really talk to him, square him away. Okay, great. I'm running a little more, now the endorphins are kicking in. I'm feeling pretty good, right? I'm releasing a lot of negative energy. I'm picking up some good vibes, feeling good about who? Myself. Feeling good about myself. So now I say, you know, geez, John Russell, he's the guy that when I first started at the jail, he came up to me and said, I don't know who you are, but do you want to eat lunch with us? Aha, okay. Maybe he's not a bad guy after, true story by the way. Maybe he's not a bad guy after all. Okay. Oh yeah, John, the guy that covered my triad meetings a couple of months ago. Oh, okay. Oh, John with his lovely wife, Leslie. Oh, okay. So I'm running. And guess what? By the end of the run, I'm thinking, well, I can see John tomorrow, I'll bring him a coffee, and we'll square all this, we'll square it away, everything will be great. My point is, you can really release some positive energy when you exercise. It's wonderful. Now, do you have to be a marathon runner? Nope. Nope. Go out for that 5-minute walk. You can sit in your chair, do your little 3-pound curls if you want to do it. Doesn't matter what you do for exercise. As long as you get those endorphins going, it's wonderful for the soul, I always say. Okay. It increases your self-esteem and confidence. Absolutely. It combats, and you can tell I'm getting a little old here, I'm going to hold it out here. It combats osteoporosis, combats high blood pressure, and cholesterol problems. It increases alertness, it increases energy levels, delivers oxygen and nutrients to your tissues, and improves your cardio. And of course, it helps manage your overall fitness level. Okay. So, just to recap a little bit. It's okay to focus on yourself, stay with positive people. It's wonderful to take care of yourself physically and mentally. But we're not done yet. We're going to keep rolling here. People sometimes look at the big picture a little too much. And I know that we've been taught to look at the big picture, know what's going on around you, but sometimes we can only control what we can control. It sounds trite to say that, but control what you can control. So in this realm of taking care of yourself physically, you can eat right, you can exercise, you can cut down on stress. You can partner with people, and that is, you pick a friend and you say, hey, you know what, how about 3 times a week we meet, and we exercise for 10 minutes 3 times a week. Okay, great. All right, but the first person that misses it buys the coffee for the next one. Wonderful. I bet a friend of mine a root beer once. He was training for the marathon. And we agreed that the first guy that misses a workout has to buy the other guy, I don't know why, but we said a root beer. My friend Doug. And Doug was the first one to miss the workout. And I remember he brought me in a root beer. And I remember him saying, you know, it's not the root beer. It's the fact that I had to hand this to you. I said, absolutely. Now, kind of a silly example, but my point is it's wonderful to partner with people because they will hold you accountable. And again, today's a great day. It's sunny out. It's beautiful. Today's a wonderful day to start. Let's talk about being happier. There's several different ways you can be happier. And again, I promised you that there weren't going to be any kind of pie in the sky examples. So we're going to use very real examples here. And the first one is shine at your job. Now put job in quotes. It doesn't matter if you're retired and you don't work for an employer anymore. You still have jobs and you still have responsibilities. So we could say shine at your responsibility. Be the best you can be. Study. Ask people how they were successful. Learn what your craft is. Put time into it. Bob Kraft used to say, be the smartest one in the room. Be the smartest one in the room. I don't mean big scale, but I mean whatever topic that is. If you're going to a meeting and you're going to volunteer and you're going to put together a meeting and you're going to discuss the United Way. Yeah, meeting with some friends down at the senior center, we're going to talk about possibly partnering with the United Way. Well, guess what? When you walk through the door that day, be the smartest person regarding the United Way. Know what they like, know what they don't like, so on and so forth. Wonderful. Next is utilize great time management. I'm a time management fanatic. I love it. Great time management shows other people that you care about yourself. It shows them that you care about your schedule. It also shows them that you care about them and their schedule. Great time management increases productivity, decreases stress, gets more done, keeps people happy. Great time management. Part of that is be early everywhere. Everywhere. I say to people that I work with, I go, geez, you know, if you're early for an internal meeting, bring a little work. You can work while you're waiting for the meeting to start. A little early. If it's an external meeting, it gives you time to network. And you can meet new people. So be early everywhere. And I'll give you an example of how being early everywhere can help you tremendously. Let's say that, what is your first name?
Liz.
Liz?
Mm-hmm.
Liz. Let's say Liz and I have a meeting. And for argument's sake, let's say Liz and I don't love each other too much. We had a little problem. We won't get into it right now, Liz, but we have a past. So Liz and I are going to meet. Where would you like to meet, Liz?
Here.
Here. We're going to meet here. Oh, you're getting me on your home turf. Nicely done. Okay, we're going to meet here at the senior center. Okay. We'll meet tomorrow if that's okay. And what time would you like to meet?
Now.
Now, okay, all right. Well, tomorrow, so let's say tomorrow at this time, 1:30, we're going to meet. Liz and I are going to meet at 1:30 tomorrow. And it's kind of a silly example, but in my example, we're going to meet at 1:30, so I'm going to get here about 1:15. And Liz isn't here yet. But Liz comes at about 1:25, because Liz is early too. Good for you, Liz. So if I'm here when you come in, Liz, what's the first thing I get to say to Liz? Something like, Liz, thanks for coming. Can I get you a cup of coffee? Bingo. Who's running the meeting right there? I am. I got there first. I got position, so to speak, right? Not that it's adversarial, but it gives me a little bit of momentum in the meeting. A small example, but it's a great way of how being early everywhere can always give you an advantage. You can always pick up extra little tidbits when you're there early. Plus, it shows people that you respect their time, as I said, and you're rearing to go, and you get a lot done. Good. Be consistent. Absolutely be consistent to people. Don't be high one day, low the next. Try to give them the same person every time they come into the room. Okay? Be faithful to your family, your friends, and your coworkers. Kind of goes without saying, but if you're going to engage people and you're going to work with them or you're going to partner with them, be faithful to them. Don't let people badmouth people in front of you. You know, that Liz had a meeting with her the other day. A pain in the neck she is. Well, you know what? I met with Liz. She was 5 minutes early for the meeting. She was very nice. We had a cup of coffee together, and it was fine. You know, as long as it's sincere. Be organized. We kind of covered that. But the more organized you are, the lower stress is, the more productivity. And what is this all about? It's about staying positive. You're going to have a positive energy, a positive attitude if you're organized, right? Feng Shui, that's very important these days. I believe in it. I believe in it. Be organized. Build informal relationships. This is one of my favorite things in the world. Build informal relationships. Ask people about themselves. Get to know people. You know, I don't know where it was written, but I guess if somebody comes to work in a new vehicle, it's not okay to say, hey, did you get a new car? Well, don't ask them about that. Well, I want to know, did you get a new car? It's nice. You know, it's okay to ask people, hey, I heard that you had you and your wife had a baby. Congratulations. You know, it's okay to ask people that you don't know. You know, we've worked here for a while. I don't know your first name. What is your first name? Oh, okay, I'm Mo. Nice to meet you. Okay? Do it for the right reasons. Do it because you want to get to know people and because you want to enjoy life and because you want to be more positive. Don't do it in hopes that someday I might need something from that guy. That never works. Okay? And the other caveat here is only do it if you mean it. Only ask that person how they're doing if you care about the answer. Don't be that person that comes walking through the crowd. Hey, Joe, how's your wife? Just got divorced. Great. How are the kids? Don't have any. Wonderful. Great. How's the new job? Still unemployed. Okay, good. People see through that. They see through it instantly. Be sincere. Okay. That being said, we're going to go on to one word, and that is celebrate. Don't be afraid to congratulate people. Don't be afraid to tell people about wonderful things other people have done. And don't be afraid to take a stand. Again, geez, Joe Smith's a jerk. Joe Smith? He just helped me with a major report. If it wasn't for Joe Smith, I wouldn't have my report done today. It's okay. Give people credit and celebrate the heck out of them. Now, as part of celebrating, it's also okay to ask people if they're having troubles. You know, that guy down the hall, he's usually in a good mood. Last couple of days, you've said hi to him or asked him how he's doing. Kind of giving you one-word answers. Do you think it's okay to ask him if anything's wrong? Sure. Sure. You ask him once. Maybe ask him again. Maybe you bring him a coffee. But we need to know when to back off. We don't want to do anything that is overstepping our bounds or is inappropriate in the workplace. Okay? But it's wonderful to engage people and let them know that you care. Just yesterday, I had some people do something very nice for me. And you better believe that I brought each one of them a coffee when I came back from lunch. Absolutely. It wasn't slick. It wasn't showmanship. They had done me a very, very nice thing yesterday morning, and I just wanted to let them know, hey, I recognize what you did, and I appreciate it. That's all. I didn't go and buy him a new car. Bought him a coffee. Small. Okay. Let's move on to energy takers. We all know them. We all have them. Now, everybody in this room, and for those of you at home, there are about 5,000 people here today, and all 5,000 of you are at some time energy givers and at some time you're energy takers, right? You're having a bad day, you're an energy taker. You're having a great day, you're an energy giver. So as best we can, we want to align ourselves with energy givers. Now, a caveat right off the bat. If somebody is sick, or they have a broken leg, or they're having a bad day, are they an energy taker? Sure they are. And what do you do then? You step right up and you help them. You help them, because that's what we do. We're human beings. And if you need proof of that, you only have to look back as far as Monday at the Boston Marathon. That's when people stepped right up. Those poor people laying on the ground injured, they certainly weren't giving out positive energy, were they? God bless them. But boy, did they need our help. and people stepped up, because that's what we do. Okay? So, I'm talking about the energy takers are in this sense, are the folks that kind of always seem to be sucking the life out of you, right? You deal with them and you feel like you just went 10 rounds. That's what I'm talking about, these energy takers, God bless them. Okay? So what do we do with these? Well, the first is you can attempt to change their behavior. I used to have down on my little PowerPoint presentation, parentheses, good luck. Okay? You can have a heart-to-heart with them. Okay, so let's say that I'm standing here and I have a coffee in my hand, I'm standing in the hall, right? And Joe Smith comes by and I say, "Morning, Joe," and he says, "Go to hell." All right, okay, great. And the next day I'm standing there, he comes by again. "Morning, Joe." He knocks the coffee out of my hand. All right, okay, now we're getting physical, okay. Now, I could say to him, "Joe, as much as I appreciate the words of wisdom, go to hell, and I appreciate you knocking that coffee out of my hand. Maybe you thought I don't need coffee or whatever. I appreciate that. But, you know, I would really appreciate it, Joe, if you don't use profanity toward me and you don't slap the coffee out of my hand. Okay? If it sounds like I'm being silly, I am. Because talking to these people a lot of times is pretty darn silly. Most of the time, it's not going to work. We could try to have a heart-to-heart with them, but it doesn't always work. Okay? The next thing we can try is we can try to reinforce positive behavior. And again, here I say good luck. You know, he comes by one day, he forgets to knock the coffee out of my hand, and I give him a donut. "Geez, Joe, I really appreciate you not knocking my coffee out of my hand, or yelling at me, or calling me a moron or anything, so please, here's a donut." You think you're reinforcing positive behavior? You're really not. All you're doing is giving this guy a donut. Because the next chance he gets, he's going to call you dumb or whatever it is. So a lot of times that doesn't work. Sometimes it does. But with the true energy taker, it's tough. It's tough. It's tough. So, we have two choices. We can try to modify their behavior, or we can modify our own behavior. Okay? So how do we modify our own behavior? Well, we can consider the source. Consider the source. I'll give you an example. I walk by this person in my example, Joe, and he says to me, "I hate your tie." Do you think Joe really hates my tie? Probably not. It's just something to say to me. All right, fine. However, if I walk out of my office and one of my coworkers, let's say Barbara, because I respect Barbara, and Barbara says to me, "Geez, Mom, that tie, whew, might not want to wear that again." I like Barbara. I respect her opinion. She's a nice person. She dresses well herself. Now might I put some weight on it? Sure. So consider the source. When somebody's grumpy to everybody, don't take it to heart. I'll share another example with you. Yet another story.
Hi.
I used to work at the YMCA in Woburn. And one day, I worked with my friend Artie LaRose. And I said to Artie, I said, "You know, this member over here is really being a pain in the neck." He said, "Oh, okay." And a while later to him, I said, "You know, this whole computer system that we work on, that we use in the exercise equipment, it stinks. It's no good." Okay, fine. Then I go to him and I say, "Hey, the boss is really being a jerk today." Okay. And then I don't know, an hour later I had another complaint. And you know what Artie said to me? He said, "Mo, if the whole world stinks, check your underpants." I said, wow. It's great. Great advice. So we need to consider the source. This person that's grumpy to everybody, don't worry about it. They'll go on to the next person. Okay? All right. So what else can we do as far as the energy takers go? Well, we cannot engage them. Don't engage them. When they say to you, "Well, you know, Tom Brady only plays football for the money. He's really a communist," or whatever they say, right? What do we say? So often we want to get back to our job, we want to get back to our lunch or whatever it is, so we go, "Oh yeah, I hear you." But don't do that. Because that only encourages them. It's okay to say to them, "You know, I don't want to talk about this because I'm trying to get some work done." Or, "Geez, I'm really enjoying my lunch here. You mind?" Oh, that's tough. You know what? It's okay to say that sometimes. Okay? The last thing we can do is just keep our distance. Keep our distance from them. It's okay to walk away. It's okay to limit your exposure to them. Absolutely. Okay. Energy givers, my favorite type of people. And I joke about it, but I will say to you that here in Georgetown, you have a great energy giver. John Russell is about as good as they come. He's about as positive as they come. And that's rule number one, is to learn from energy givers. Ask them how they do things. Geez, whenever you make a presentation, it's always terrific. What is your secret? Oh, well, here's what I do. I prepare a month before, I practice, I do this. Oh, I like that. Okay, great. Or you ask them, how come you're always so happy? Right? As a matter of fact, one of my first days when I worked at Essex County Sheriff's Department, my then boss, John Russell, came to my door, and he and my other boss had a question for me, and I was the stats guy. So I'm sitting there doing my little stats, and John Russell says to me, hey, we have a question for you. And I was all excited because nobody ever asked the stats guy any questions. I said, yes, what can I do for you? And with a little bit of, let's just say, flowery language, John and my other boss asked me if it ever rained at my house. I said, well, yes, it does. Why do you ask? And they said, because you're always smiling, and we think there's something wrong with you. Aha! And they were probably right, okay? But my point is, they asked me. And that was their way of saying, hey, this guy's got something good in there. Let's find out what it is, okay? So it's okay to ask people how they succeeded, how they get their energy, what makes them happy. Ask people. The other is, spend time with them. Oh, seek these people out. Jack Welch of GE, whether you love him, hate him, whatever, he always said, seek out the winners. Seek them out, seek them out. Find these people and spend time with them. Buy them a coffee. Go for a walk with them. Hang out with them. You'll just pick up their energy, I promise you. The last is copy them or shadow them. Again, do you mind if I spend an hour with you? Do you mind if I come and watch you do your next presentation? You mind if I sit with you and ask you how you do that report? Hey, the next time you go and visit somebody, can I come and visit with you? Whatever it is. Okay. You can track your progress. Have a little notebook. Here's what I wanted to do today. I wanted to become more positive. Ways I can become more positive, and you write them down and you check them. Tied into this is goal. You always want to have a goal. And our goals should be three things. Our goals should be realistic, time-specific, and measurable. So let's use the oldest one in the book. I want to become a better worker. Ooh, okay, it's kind of abstract. But instead of just saying that, maybe I quantify it. Right now, I'm doing 3 reports a week. By the end of July, I want to be able to do 6 reports a week. Okay. Is that realistic? Well, yeah, based on my work output, based on what I do all day, I think 6 reports a week is realistic. Okay, realistic. Ah, is it measurable? Sure. I count my reports. At the end of my time period, if I have 6 done, I got it. If I don't, I fail, right? Very measurable. And of course, time specific. We set a deadline there. Whether it's sales, or weight loss, or relationship building, everything can be quantified. And so, again, when we talk about energy givers, spend time with them, learn from them, set goals, and that kind of aligns you with them. Okay? And most of all, when it comes to energy givers, appreciate them. Tell them that you love them. Tell them you appreciate them. Because they love to hear it. And it's great. I have people I work with, I hug them when I see them. Oh, I work in a jail. I'm hugging guys, right? Hey, how you doing, brother? Big hug. It's like, well, this guy's hugging people. We don't hug here. Well, I do. Sure. Okay? So my point is, appreciate it. So just to conclude real quickly, we talked about our outline. We talked about taking care of yourself, how it's absolutely imperative that you take care of yourself. We talked about the connection between physical and emotional well-being. It's wonderful. We talked about staying positive in very specific ways that you can stay positive, very specific techniques. And then we talked about the energy takers. Everybody's an energy taker at one time or another. Don't run from your friends when they need you. But the real permanent energy takers, it's okay to limit your exposure to them. And don't take them to heart. And then we talked about the energy givers. Spend time with them. Thank God for them. And thank them. Okay? So that's all I have today, and that's my lecture on staying positive in your senior years, and I want to thank you very much for inviting me over here today.
Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thank you very much, Mo. It was a great
Thank you,
It's a
Charlie,
pleasure.
Oh, my
for taking
pleasure,
it
thank
for
you
us.
very much.
I will
Oh, thank
hold
you.
on to information in the office so that we'll have it available to anybody else at home. But thank you for coming, I really appreciate it.
Steak
And
with
we'll
some
have some
refreshments.
ice cream.